So we are here today at the Wythall Transport Museum in our lovely little motor, and yeah, here we are. There's the museum. I've got a bit of a blocked nose today, so that might come through in the audio, but just have to grin and bear it, wouldn't you? So here's to some very awesome motors. We got old matey's Kia as well. Lovely stuff. Waiting on some grub for breakfast. It's quite early, but there's the bush to skeg. I could have caught blinking last week, but couldn't in the end. I'll make my way to skeg at some point, folks. And maybe I'll even try and get a video of the Skegness stock car or whatever, no, banger racing or whatever, for you guys. Don't know what a Sunbury is. Nah, I'm just joking. The rain is still a bit wet, so we're inside the big old classic bus garage with the single deck for the 70s here. Should come on down to the Wythall Transport Museum, have a day out. It is actually quite nice in here. I won't go through everything here because, well, you should come down to the museum yourself and find out, to be honest. But there's some lovely old buses here, and an old Landing Rover as well. Quite similar to what I've ridden in once. Old mate of mine had a Landing Rover of this sort of era. A bit loud thing it were. Rattled like a blinking shed. Anyway. Classic MGs as well. Classics. Those classic Triumphs as well. A Saab, but for some reason. Is this a Cayman or is this a Spider? This is sort of my favourite era of Porsche, to be honest. This kind of era, the sort of the classic Boxsters type of thing. I don't like the stuff that's too modern. Funnily enough, I don't like the stuff that's too classic either, for Porsche specifically. I don't know, something about the old Porsche, the shaping is just weird. Whereas them, they've got that kind of, I don't know, copying Mazda MX-5's homework kind of deal. It's a bit wet. It's another different Landing Rover that someone's brought. Sierra Cosworth, I think. Not in a rally livery, upsetting. Oh, Escort, it's an Escort. Oh. Still not in a rally livery, upsetting. Anyway. Audi TT for some reason, don't know what's here. We've got a couple of Zodiacs, there's one in lovely red. One in that. This is a classic Honda. It's one of very few in the UK. You don't really see them that often in this country at all. I think there's one registered on the road. Might be this one. There's a bit of blurb here. There you go. Something about that. There. A modern Landing Rover. There's one of them in garage, if you've seen previous videos. It's in a bit of a needs some restoration work, but there's a Humber. You can see the wet, can't you? The Triumph, another one. A few people have already buggered off because of the rain. It's an old rundown bus. I think it might be being restored possibly, or possibly using parts, Zephyr. The sort of 90s, 80s Ford. So it's a different version of the Escort, 1.6. You'll have to excuse me for not knowing quite so much offhand of various car models as senior. This is the more modern Escort. This is the Puma, right? This is the Puma. Sorry, that's the Puma. Which is also quite nice. See what I mean? I mean, it looks... Okay, actually, the livery is quite nice on this. Sorry, mate. But, like, Porsches, you know, Porsches. Thinking Porsches. Another MG there. It's a Traveller with some nice woodwork on it. Classic woodwork. This is a Celica, I think. Yes. Again, no rally livery. Upsetting. No, I'm kidding. I do like a good Celica. Ah, it's just a Renault Alpine. Something around those lines. Anyway, why does it ever I do like that as well. I remember that from, like older sort of Forza video games. Another MG. That's an older MG. That. Something about this era of car just screams mafia, doesn't it? And then you've got lovely, pretty little minis. I do like the Mini. All eras of the Mini, apart from maybe the later Countryman's, because whoever decided to take the Mini branding and just turn it into that. But they are lovely and cute, aren't they, little Minis? There was a sort of an olive green one here earlier, but that one disappeared quite quickly. Given the weather, I don't blame them. Kit car there based on the bodywork of a Merc and Elvis. Don't see too many of them at all. This is a different version of the Escort. This is the one that's sort of quite popular with diecasters, specifically the RS 2000 series. Partly because of rallying, and partly if you see like Hot Wheels Community, there's some people who collect this specific model specifically, and that means they go for silly money, even new ones. It's one of many instances of the coat of arms. There's a stone one near the ski bus. And this is an era of bus that I just vaguely remember, just barely. This era, sort of late 90s, early 2000s, I think, when I was quite small. But I just about faintly remember this colour scheme. Honestly, I kind of prefer it to blinking the modern black, which is just... Thanks West Midlands buses, well Birmingham buses would be just terrible, really. Quite terrible. So you get a look in the interior. Yes, there we are. Now that's a bus. You can see many of the features that are sort of still existing on modern buses. Yeah, more or less the same layout. To be fair, the layout hasn't really changed for a good long time, but this is a more recognisable thing. A lot of this hasn't really changed since, ever since then. But obviously now we've got sort of you do have a thing sort of here for your contactless payment now. You wouldn't need your tax discs thing. Probably some other features as well. Short hop 30p, adult off-peak max for 80p, day saver 230. Crazy when you think about it, crazy stuff. Yeah. Right, proper bus. This is sort of a decommissioned, again, also quite modern bus. This is, I guess, yeah, so this is some of these still exist, of this type, but this specific one has been decommissioned. In the slow, painful transition to modern black, the X-style bus. I just think these have a lot more character, to be honest, to the corporatised washout style. But you can see here sort of the transition, can't you, from Travel West Midlands to National Suck. I'm going to rant a bit here, but I've never been a big fan of National Express. Let's do something we should never do, is go behind a bus. and potentially land on a brick. It is a bit dark back here, unfortunately, so you can't really get the best looking. If the lighting in here work in that bus, I guess the light in the bus probably does work. This bus is probably still functional. There's the back of the older one. Again, can't really see terribly much. You might be able to see. Also, I think these windows are a bit more tinted. The modern buses maybe. Could just be the lighting here, or could just be the fact that these aren't lit inside. Probably the case. Get all the gauges of that bus as well. Again, a lot of that probably hasn't changed terribly much, apart from adding new sort of techie bits for contactless payment, etc. Right, that very classic Morris with a wonderful interior. One of the sister cars travelling off there, fellow Rover enthusiast. Another Saab with the Morton Club. Another Triumph 2000 series. It's a Hillman. There's quite a few Morrises, which was good to see. Ford Fiesta. Oh, a bus on the move here actually. I say on the move, it's at least functioning, which is nice. Chevy truck, another Chevy. There's our Butte. The more modern Landing Rover. Beamer. Doesn't have a fun livery. Actually, this is an odd colour, sort of a dark green. It's a nice interior, though. Very nice interior. I'm a sucker for weird car interiors. Modern car interiors are just like kind of boring. Yeah, stuff from the 90s and backwards. Some lovely stuff. So one of those modern non-West Midlands buses by Arriva. Decommissioned, slight decommissioned version of that. Again, confusing as all heck when you try and travel around the West Midlands. There's a better conditioned version of a traveller that we've got in Brack. One of these days we'll get the paintwork and everything sorted on it. Eventually. A couple of MGs. Modern MGs next to the TFs. Another weird Audi. Another different Hillman there. It's a heel. Different Porsche. So again, this is the era of Porsche that is nice. Then they made the Cayman, not the Cayman, the Cayenne. Yeah, the Carrera. The Carrera is a beautiful car. Then they made the Cayenne, the SUV, and everything just sort of went downhill from there. You got the sort of performance model that was trying way too hard to be a hypercar and just didn't look nice. Good old Capri. Vauxhall. Not a Corsa. As evidenced by the fact it hasn't had its bonnet nicked yet. But yeah, what a lovely selection of cars. Unfortunately, the weather is a bit pants, and it's kind of missing my ability to film because I'm doing this on a phone, and thus touchscreen stuff happens when your phone gets wet, because of course it does. But in any such case, proper nice. So I think we might stick around for a bit longer, maybe do a bit more of the museum, but I think people are starting to shuffle off a bit early, to be honest. But as you say, rain stops play. nice vent in that Porsche. So this is the Cayman. This is the Cayman. This is a nice one. Again, this particular era of Porsche, I think they just dropped the ball after this sort of era, personally. Went a bit weird. Just stick to what you're good at. That kind of shaping. Just do the same car with a better engine, honestly. Don't worry too much about the aerodynamics that much. Just mate, keep the prettiness. Keep your custom brakes. That stock is in Brembo. But anyway, before I get distracted by another moment, I think we're gonna end this video off. So please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah, let us know about your classics and your adventures. We love to hear them. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully with better weather and in better health. Honestly, I think I'm gonna have to go to the doctor about this blinking nose nonsense. But we shall see you next time, and we will be continuing with the saga of the lovely and elegant 214i. Until next time, may your rust be removable and your gasoline effective. We're going to work on a slogan. We're going to workshop that. See you guys in the next one. Did you?